Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I will show you everything you need to know about MailChimp and a step-by-step tutorial to set up your first online email marketing campaigns. And honestly, if you have not been using email marketing, then this video right here could easily make you thousands and thousands of dollars. So email marketing is very popular for almost every business on the internet. And because they all use it, it's pretty obvious that it's a very lucrative way to conduct business. And so MailChimp is one of the most popular ones out there when it comes to email marketing platforms for many reasons. First of all, I really like it because it has a lot of kind of an incremental payment plan where you can start off for free, and then as you build your audience and start to be able to afford it, you can go to the next tier and the next tier and start to add some extra implementations on there that can really build it and make it even more powerful than it is in the beginning. But being able to start off for free is a great way to use this for a small business or a large business, really at any scale. So first, MailChimp scales very well. That's something I like about it. Also, it's a very powerful tool. They have a lot of automations on here and a lot of different abilities when it comes to sending out emails, having landing pages, things like that. And so just to summarize what I'll talk about in this video, first of all, I will talk about how to have a new audience or a list, have different people subscribe, how to input subscribers, and how to add a list of subscribers that you already have. Then I'll talk about how to create an email, an automated email, or just a regular email. We'll talk about some of the different automations you can place on this. Then we'll talk about how to actually set up a landing page or otherwise collect subscribers if you want to have a form on a WordPress site, or how the other ways are you can get subscribers to your new email list. And then lastly, I'll talk about the analytics and how to look at them and interpret what your email list is actually telling you, find out what works, what doesn't work, and where the information is actually shown. So the first thing we want to do, there's definitely a lot to cover here. This might be a slightly longer video, but I promise if you stick around for the entire video, it definitely will show you everything you need to know when you're starting off with MailChimp. So to start off, go down in the description of this video and copy the link and paste it in a new tab on your browser. It should look something like this. If it looks slightly different, don't worry. Just go anywhere that you see the sign up free, whatever it says, and just click on that. And we're going to start off with our email, our username, and our password. So first is going to ask us to go and check our email. So let's go over and check our email right here, and you'll see that we can activate our account. So I'm going to, because this is a different one right here, I'm going to copy this right here, copy the link address, and I'm going to paste it in a new tab. And that is going to allow me to, right here, confirm that I am a human. This is just part of the process of setting this up. And then it asks us which plan we want. And so we have different options here, and I can go into details on that, but essentially this is what I was talking about. When you start off, it's totally free if you have less than 2,000 contacts, and there are some limitations with automation and things like that, some of the templates that you don't quite have access to right away. But regardless, it does give you the ability to send emails and grow an email list. So in the beginning, this is definitely a great way to start off. Then you can upgrade to $30 a month once you have 2,000 contacts or more, and eventually even $50 a month if you want everything from there. Or of course you can go all the way up to $300 a month. And obviously as you're scaling up here, I'm sure you'd be making significantly more money with each of them, and it definitely becomes worth it. So let's pursue the free one for now. That's what I recommend when you're starting off, especially if you do not have an email list already with more than 2,000. If you do, obviously choose one of the other ones. But we're going to start off with the free one for this video, and I'm just going to click complete right there. And it's going to ask for some basic details such as my name, so Mike O'Brien, and then we're going to click continue. And it's going to ask for our business name, so we're going to say Mike O'Brien Media. And then if we have a website, we're going to put that down here. So I'm just going to say, santrelmedia.com, santrelmedia.com. So we have our website integrated right there. It's going to ask for an address, and you do actually have to put in a real address here just to comply with international anti-spam laws. Got to follow the laws, guys. Don't make up a fake address, and I mean, it's going to cause a lot of problems in the future anyway, but put your real address in here. And I do recommend that you don't use your home address. If you have to at first, go ahead and do that, but people can find your address through MailChimp. So I recommend if you're doing business on the internet, you should go out and get either a PO box or maybe just an office unit somewhere if you have a larger building or a larger business. So go ahead and do something like that. So I would typically use just a PO box. So let's do that for now. Actually, I have a business address, so I'm just going to use that. And then if we have any contacts they want to know right now, I'm just going to say no, and I'll show you later on where we can import the contacts. Don't worry about doing that right here. And then again, social media, don't worry about that right now either. I'll show you how to connect that later. And then it says, let's find your marketing path. They just kind of want to upsell a couple different things. I'm not going to do that right now. I'll show you in this video everything you need to know. So you can easily just say no to these things. Then here it's like subscribe to some success stories. If you're looking for motivation, it's a newsletter. I don't do that, honestly. And then also the presets, if you want that, I'm not doing that. Again, these are just newsletters so that you're getting on their email list, actually. So then here, they're going to kind of walk you through a setup. I'm not going to do this right now because I'll show you everything you need to know from the actual normal MailChimp layout here. So this one, we're just going to do all this stuff later. Don't import contacts and just say, we're good. We're not doing any of that right now. And this should bring us to right here. Nope, another pop-up. So they want, no, let's not do this either. Sorry, so many pop-ups as you're trying to sign into this, but I promise normally you sign in and it goes directly to here. And this is what we want to see right now. So across the top, just to give you a little bit of a layout here of the land, we have a couple options. So first you have, well, obviously this will bring you back to home. Then we can create. And within create, you can create an email, and there's different types of emails to create. You can create ads. I typically don't create ads on here. I find that if I'm going to make a Facebook ad or a Google ad, I'm going to do that directly from their platform, being that it's just so much more direct and it makes more sense, a little more powerful as well. That's typically how I recommend doing that. Website, then you can make a website. This is new, and I'll touch on this a little bit. If you want to see a full tutorial, I will probably make a video of this in the future, so make sure you subscribe for that. Then a landing page, I definitely will show you this in this video. A survey, we'll touch on that. You can make a social post. You can make a sign up form, which will be something that you can integrate in your WordPress site if you have one. And then you can have a postcard down here that can be literally printed, physically printed, and mailed to your contacts if you have physical addresses. Campaigns over here will show you different emails that you're sending, a campaign being like an email that you're sending. Then automation, so you can automate emails, ads, and postcards. You can go check out your audience over here, and then there's some basic brand stuff there, as well as reports, and we'll touch on all of that later on in the video. And I want to start off over on the top right here, showing you when you click the drop down, you'll get notifications right here. So if people like, I'll talk about where to get what kind of notifications you will get later. But you can go down and connect. You can check out your profile. Checking out your profile basically just confirms everything we already inputted, like your name, your email, your website, and your address, if you have an address or a phone number or anything like that. You can add a photo if you want, but essentially that's going to be just the basics of that. You can go across the top, and there are some other things, integrations, for example. If we go over there, you can integrate with Facebook and things like that. We're not going to do that just yet, though. So let's go back to home by clicking on the little chimp on the top left. And again, I hate how they keep doing this. They keep popping up and asking for, personalized advice. Fine, let's just do it. Let's just make them happy. Do you want to talk? No, I don't want to talk to people. Do you want to make money? No. Do I want to? I'm just going to say no to all these so it goes away. There we go. Hopefully that pop-up will not appear anymore. So anyway, the first thing we want to do is actually look at our audiences. So if you have an audience or not, doesn't matter yet. Let's go over to audience here, and I want to show you the basics. So first, you can import your contacts right there, or let's go over and check out our audiences. So we can go down and say view audiences, and so you can have multiple audiences. Each audience is going to be a group of people. So if you have maybe multiple businesses and you manage all of it from here, or if you have multiple aspects of your business, so maybe for like Santrel, we talk about YouTube, and we also talk about website development. Maybe those would be two separate audiences, and I would have one audience collection on a website about website development, and then on my YouTube channel, maybe I would have a different link to go, sign up for a different audience there. But when you're starting off for free, you're limited to only one audience, so you cannot create a new audience, but you have an audience automatically, so everybody will be pulled into one thing. Of course, you can add tags. I'll talk about that, how to separate your audience later on, but for the most part, you're just going to be working with only one audience, which for less than 2,000 contacts is definitely very manageable. So what we do from here is over there, you can add a subscriber manually if you want. You can go look at statistics on that. You can manage your contacts, sign up forms, stuff like that. We're not really going to do any of that from right here. What I do recommend doing is clicking on it though, and this will bring us into the audience management basically right here. And so it shows you who your contacts are, so who actually subscribed for it. It'll show you if they're currently subscribed, or if they unsubscribed, it'll say unsubscribed right there. They tell you some basics about them, like their name, their address, If they put in their birthday, you can add tags to them. So let's go, and right here, we could add or remove a tag. So we could say cool people. Let's just say that. We're going to add that as a tag. Create a new tag for cool people right there. And so later, if we add certain people, we can send an email to only cool people, and it'll go to Mike at Santrel right there. So we can add contacts in two different ways here. We can add an individual subscriber. So let's do that right now. And we could say, let's just say Nate at Santrel. And to answer your question, guys, yes, Nate and I are brothers. We get that all the time. Everyone always says, are you guys brothers? You guys look alike. And honestly, I mean, I don't really see it. I guess we kind of look alike, and maybe we speak similarly, but that comment comes up all the time. But yes, we are brothers. So anyway, when you're putting in a subscriber manually right here, there's really not many situations when I find myself doing that. Maybe if somebody just like, I'm in contact with them and they say, yeah, sign me up for your email list, maybe I'll do that then. For the most part, people will be doing this automatically on one of the multiple ways I'll show you later on in the video. But as we go down, you have to click, yes, they gave me permission to do this. We can add tags right here, and we could say not cool people. If we want to add that tag, so create a new tag for not cool people, or we could just not do that. So let's not do that. I'll show you what it's like to have a tag and not a tag on people. So not everyone has to have a tag. Obviously, it's not that important to even have them unless you want to separate when you're sending an email out. So let's go down and subscribe right here. Of course, if he was already in my contacts, it would just be updated right there if I wanted to add like an address or something. So now we have two contacts and they're both subscribers, which is great. Nobody unsubscribed yet, being that we just started. So if we go back to audience dashboard, it brings us to this right here. So let's go again from the top, go down to view audiences. They kind of make it a little confusing to add people. So then let's click on this right here and let's see how we can actually import contacts. So if we go down, you can import contacts, and there's two ways to do this. Actually, multiple ways there, I guess, if you have an integrated service. But typically, I go to, if you use maybe like Wix and you have a membership on there, you can download a CSV file or a text file, and then you'll go here and you will upload that, and it'll automatically bring all of them in. I've done this before. It works very well, and it brings all the information in pretty much seamlessly. I had no issues ever doing this. So if we click continue, I actually don't have any files right now, but you would upload them right here, and then of course it would show you all your contacts would be there, and you'd import all of them. And of course, you could add tags to those and say those are imported from the old website or something like that. So that is essentially everything you need to know about audiences. Now, let's talk about making a single email here. So if we go over to create on the top left and click on email, there's several different ways you can create an email. The first way is just creating a regular email. Self-explanatory. It's as if I was going to go and just make an email and send it out, a one-time thing. Maybe it's going to be like a new deal, a new offer, maybe a discount on something, maybe some affiliate links that I'm just trying to talk about, maybe an announcement. So for this one, I'm just going to call it announcement. And we're going to begin this. And it's going to bring us to this page right here. And so this is going to be essentially how we're structuring this email. And so they break it down very easily. So at the top, you talk about who it's to. So you can say all of your contacts right there. Let's edit our recipients and see who we can actually send it to. So we could send it to only cool people right there. As I talked about, that was a tag. And we could add a personalized to field if we want to. So we could say to like their first name if you want, or their last name, whatever you want to do. And so I'm not going to add a personalized tag for to field for this one. But see how right there you can send it to only cool people if you want, and that'll suddenly send it to only one recipient because we didn't add tags to both of the subscribers. So far, only Mike at santrelmedia.com is labeled as cool people. So then down here, who it's from, so you can edit who it's from. It doesn't necessarily have to be from you right here. You can make it anyone you want. I mean, you're going to have to like verify your email address, but it doesn't necessarily just have to be from the account that you're using right here. So if you have multiple businesses and you manage them all in one MailChimp account here, then you could very easily just kind of have multiple emails and send it from different email addresses. And who the name is, obviously put that right there. So save that. And then the subject, so subject is important because that's going to be really kind of what defines your click-through rate. And it's very important that you have a high click-through rate because then it'll be less likely to get buried in their inbox in the future. You know, Google's algorithm, most people have Gmail, or many people have Gmail, and we want to make sure that our emails stay at the top because they get opened regularly. So we want to make sure that it's a very enticing and intriguing, but definitely not misleading subject. And so think of this as like a YouTube video that, like, this is your thumbnail right here, and then this would be your title basically. So it's going to show you, like, if we go to an email, so if we go back to this one, you'll see that we have our title right there, activate your MailChimp account. That's not exciting because it's a business related thing here. And then the preview text doesn't necessarily have to be in your email, but it's going to be the snippet that appears right here. So sometimes, like, this right here is actually in the email. Sometimes, like this one, it looks like they're not, but many other people don't like populate that. So that just, if I sent an email from Gmail to somebody else, that would be the content of the email. But here it's going to be a preview text that we put in there automatically, or whatever we want to do. So let's just going to say announcement. I don't know, announce. And of course, like, I'm not going to try to make this actually enticing right now because it's not a real email, but depending on what you're doing, definitely construct this and maybe do a little bit of testing, A/B testing, figure out how to actually make this look better. So then preview text, I'm just going to say, please open this. And most likely that's going to get flagged for spam, but we're just going to do that for the purposes of this video. Then we can go down and actually design the email, and this is where it starts to really get interesting. So they have a designer in here, and it's very similar if you're trying to design a landing page or design an email, an automated email, or honestly, if you're just trying to build a website with MailChimp, which I'll talk about all of this later on in the video. But it's going to be a very similar set of tools. And so first, looking across the top, we have different layouts. And some of these you do have to upgrade to use. So we have the free version right now, which means we cannot use these, but we can use the first two right there. Or we can go down and some of these, like one column full width, we can use the one column regular, but we cannot use some of these other ones. So we do have a couple options. Simple text. Oh yeah, great. We can use simple text. But then, of course, we also have some themes, a limited number of themes here for sure. But as we go down, you start to see that they do have a reasonable amount of themes, actually. And some of them you do have to upgrade to use. But like I was saying, a reasonable number of them that are totally free. So we can use like these. Let's just say maybe we want this one. So we can click on the little magnifying glass, get an idea of what it looks like. And it's nice they show you desktop and mobile because people will be opening. You know, who knows what the ratio is. But a lot of people will be using their phones. I mean, I know I check my phone. I check my email on my phone every morning pretty much. So desktop right there, mobile, they show you both of them. And if we decide we like it, we can just go and click on it right there and it will be the one that we're going to use. And these are the tools right here that I was talking about before where, actually I forgot to show you, I'm sorry, let's go back one step right there. Before we started using this, there are also save templates right there. So once we're done with this one, we can save it as a template. We can also see the campaigns. If we sent out previous emails, they'll show up right here, and we can code our own if you are really looking to just, you know, make it out of just pure code right there. I don't know if you're using markup or HTML or something, but you can do it right there. So let's go back to themes and use the theme that we selected right there and start making this email. Now, as I said right here, you have the tools that are going to be very similar across all of MailChimp's building, so building websites, stuff like that. So what we have here is a very simple little block layout, and these are not necessarily super customizable. It's not like you can't drag this over to like right there. If you want to just keep it like slightly off center, you can't. It clicks into place. And so what you have is kind of similar to what we see on like a lot of other website builders. You see this on Squarespace, you see this on GoDaddy's website builder, where there's kind of like set locations that you can drop things, and you have to, like, if I want to add like a social follow, I see there's certain spots that highlight blue that I can put it. So I can put it like right there, I can put it right below that thing, I can put it right above that thing. And so there's a limited number of places you can put it. But overall, I find that I definitely am able to get things where I need them to be. And so what we have here is for each individual item, we can click on the little edit icon right there. We can go and duplicate the block if we want another one right below it. We can go and delete the block if we accidentally duplicated it, or if you just really want to delete it, I guess. And then if you click the edit icon right there, you have some options. So looking at them one by one here, just give you an idea of what we can do. An image, we can replace the image. And when you replace the image, if it goes into our media right here, we can upload media if we want. We can upload it from a URL or import it from a URL. We can have products. So this would be like if you have files or something like that, you want to have maybe digital products. We can go down and have some GIFs right there, or GIFs. I'm almost positive it's GIFs, but if you say GIF, I don't know. I'm sorry. Then we have Instagram if you connect your social media right here, and then you have your logo. I didn't upload a logo yet, and you can connect cloud storage as well. So my files, let's just do that for now. And actually, I'm not going to add an image. We're just going to use this one right here, and you can actually edit the image then if you decide that you want to change something about it. And the editor is admittedly pretty extensive, but I normally don't use it. So I typically use just this right here. So I'll resize them. Sometimes I'll make sure they're 16 by 9. Sometimes I'll do the little dimension change down here. So if I lock the dimensions and I change this, it'll scale down proportionally. Otherwise, it'll kind of just crop and squish things. So that's really all I use. But they do also have some filters over here. So if you want it to look, I don't know, like a different color or something, if you just want it, let's just do this. Let's say it's going to be this color. I don't know, really making a weird email here. We can go down and adjust the brightness, stuff like that. Typically, I don't do this. I do most of my photo editing work in either Lightroom or Photoshop, just some other Adobe products out there. Honestly, this just looks really weird. Let's use that. And so then that will be what our image looks like. It looks like we may not have actually saved that. So yeah, I realized I didn't save that. I missed a very critical part here. You go down, and if you change it, you have to click save before you close it. All right, it's not working right now. Maybe that's because we're using a default image right now, but we can go and add a link to this. So if this was like a discount or anything that was maybe a product and you want people to click on the image, then you can easily add a web address link right here. You could also link it to an email address if it is something that entices people to click on it and they want to sign up or email you back or something, an anchor link or a file. So if you want them to get like a free PDF when they click on the image, you can easily do that as well. And then of course we can go and add some little alt text right there. I don't really ever have a use for that. If we go down to a text block right here, or even up there, you'll see that what you have is just, you can type in text however you want. A pretty normal text editor. You can change like bold, italic, underline. You can change different styles. And something really nice is you can actually add links here. So if we go to the little chain icon, we can go and add a link. And again, you can link this to the same things you could link an image for. And this is just great if you have individual text that links out to like a blog post or to a discount or something like that. Sometimes it'd be like, check out the product here. And maybe I would want that to link over to, I don't know, like an affiliate link on Amazon. I could just paste that in right there, and then it would be underlined and it would link out to that automatically. Then as we go down, you'll see that these are essentially just little text boxes. We have a button right there. If we edit the button, you can again just add a web address right there. And you can always, for all of these, you can go over to style, and this is where you change the color of it. It's going to just be some basic color right there, HTML colors. Then we can go over and change if it's center aligned, right aligned, or how it's really going to look in here. And as we go down, you see that in between each one, it's kind of a little divider right there. But if you want a better divider, if you want something else there, we can save and close. And let's add an actual divider so we can drop it right there. And maybe this divider, we want it to be like a different color. You can change it a different padding on the top and the bottom. You can change a border. And let's just say we don't want it to be gray. We want it to be red. And then we have a red divider right there. And let's save and close that. So that's how you'd add like a different divider if you didn't want just the white one right there. Now it looks bad because we have two, but you get the idea of how this is going to work. Then on the bottom, the footer is something else worthy of talking about here. And this is going to be, these are dynamic little things right here. So it's not actually going to send and say current_year. Instead, it's going to say copyright 2020 Santrel Media, all rights reserved. So I recommend not touching this stuff, and also definitely don't get rid of this. I mean, you're going to get in some trouble if you get rid of the update your preferences and unsubscribe, because people need to be able to unsubscribe from your list. So definitely don't mess with that down there. Then of course we can change the style on this as well and edit contact info. So we are going to just save and close this. I don't usually change that, but maybe if you want to add like the social links right here, you can go in and you can obviously just change them however you want, paste your social links and change what it says next to them. But there are several other things. You can add some code right there if you have something different that they don't offer right here and you want to code it right there. You can add buttons, like that's a button right there, it says register, and just pretty basic layout of how to construct things. This is a pretty standard email here, not very long, has a picture, has a headline, has an action item right there, a button, and so it looks pretty good. And this would be something that I would consider using when I'm sending out an email. So then we click continue, it'll bring us back to the page we were on. And this is where we are essentially ready to send it if we want, but I always recommend first we go down here and send a test email. And then once we're done on the bottom, we can go down here and change our campaign link if we want. I'm just going to leave it as that for now. And we are ready to send it. So we can either schedule it right here or we can send it. If you go to schedule, I believe you probably will need to upgrade in order to schedule your delivery here. So we're not going to upgrade. We're just going to send it right now. It's one of the several drawbacks you'll have by using the free version, but you can just click send and it will send it out. And it tells you right there, are you ready to send it? Say, yep. Little chimp hits the little mushroom button there and he's ready to go. So we just sent it out. And we can track our performance then to see how well it actually worked if you want to download their app. Or you can just go back to your reports over here and see how well it's actually doing. Or of course you can see that in home as well. So it'll tell you how many people opened it, how many people didn't open it, how many were delivered. Since we just sent it, sometimes it takes a few minutes until it's actually delivered, but you get the idea of how that's going to work. And on your homepage here, I didn't mention this before, but the overview is going to show you like people subscribing, unsubscribing. You'll get a graph right there. You can go to activity and see, how many people opened them, how many didn't. You'll get a lot of bar graphs, way more information, and it obviously doesn't show it well with zeros. All the graphs are just empty there. So if we go back to email, I want to show you something else with that. You can also go and create an automated email, and this gets more powerful. We also face some limitations with the free version here, but you do have some basic things. So if you want to send a welcome email to new subscribers, this is something you could do for free. Or if you want to send like a series of welcome emails, you will have to upgrade for that. But the series of welcome emails is actually really nice. Like I know a lot of people that have like an online, like maybe a free course, and it's like a 7-day free course. Then they'll do this. You'll sign up for their email list and they'll hit you every single day with the next part of your free course. You could also do a happy birthday one if you're a restaurant. This is something that's really nice. I know a lot of people like Starbucks will give you maybe a free coffee on your birthday. Or if it's a restaurant, maybe give you like a free meal. And you would just, most likely people are going to bring their friends then, and it's going to end up being better for you in the end. But it's something that a lot of people like to do. So that's really nice to have that. Of course, there's many different triggers you can use for an automated email. You can have a custom one right there. So if we just check out like a custom one, you can set up an automated one as we want. And you can edit right here what the trigger is. And our trigger could be whenever a subscriber is manually added to the workflow. That's probably not what we want to do. But we could go and have one that's like, whenever they opened an email, whenever they didn't open an email, when they didn't click on a link. In e-commerce, anytime they abandoned their cart maybe. So if somebody puts something in their cart and they don't order it, you could send a follow-up email the next day and say, hey, you forgot to check out. And that could be a good way to follow up and remind people. And they'll say, oh yeah, I did forget to check out. And they'll go and they'll be more likely to buy whatever you're selling. Of course, there's many other different triggers right here. A lot of them you will have to pay for though. But regardless, like these, you can't be your first trigger because, it doesn't make sense. But let's cancel this one and let's go back to change it right there. So let's go back and create this one just by, a welcome one for new subscribers. So we're going to begin this right here, a single welcome email. And like I said, on the top right there, if you go back 10 seconds, you'll see it did say like you could have a welcome series right there, or you could do several other options there. Now, this is going to be the same layout that we saw before, and it's going to be immediately after they joined. You could delay this if you want, so it could be like an hour after, and you could say, hey, welcome, thank you for signing up to this email, or thanks for joining us. I don't know. And you get the idea. Customize this however you want. Send a test email, and then start sending whenever you're ready. So if we just say start sending, then we're going to say start now. And just like that, anybody who signs up for our email list will automatically receive that email 1 hour after they sign up. Now that leads to the next question of how are they going to sign up for this email list? There are several ways. So one way, if you are a social media, if you have most of your following on Instagram or on YouTube or Facebook or Snapchat, then you don't really have a way for them to do it just like natively. So what you're going to end up doing is creating a landing page right here. And so we want to make a landing page that's like sign up here, And this is going to be how we have people sign up for our email list. And it's going to be essentially a website that is just a simple little website and then just collects their email. And that's really all it is. And you'll have a link. You can link over to this your Instagram link could just lead right to this. Or it could be on YouTube. You could have this link in your descriptions, and then people will click on it. They'll sign up for your email list, and then they'll be integrated in that part of your marketing, which is just a great way. If you have a WordPress website, this is not what you want to do, and I'll show you what you should do in a minute. But you have, again, a couple templates right here. So let's just say we want to use like Wild Country right here. And again, this is what I was saying before about the tools on the side. So we have a very similar set of tools. Some differences here, like we have payment right there. We have video, things that we didn't necessarily have in the email generation and the email creation. And also, if we want to go down, we can actually change this. And if we don't like things down here, we can just start getting rid of a lot of stuff. Because this one actually is pretty long for a landing page. Typically a landing page, I like to keep it like kind of only this, not a whole lot more. But this right here is something we can edit as well. If you click on that, you can add some more fields. We can have like name, address, stuff like that. Maybe birthday. I'm going to give some people some free coffee, I guess. And we can change what the button says, and it can just, a confirmation message pops up later. So you can say like, hey, thanks for signing up. You're in it. We can also add maybe like some other things. For now, I'm not going to add anything else. Let's save and close that right there. And let's save and close this as well. And this will come automatically by default with some weird URL that they have right there. So it's going to be like mailchimp / bunch of random characters and then / whatever you want. So this is going to be random stuff right there, probably 5 or 6 characters. And then you can add like Mike's email list. Mike's emails or something. And that way it's people will know where they are and they know they're not on some random website if they see that. Or you could connect a domain if you already have one, if you bought one on like Squarespace or Namecheap or something like that. And it could be a good way to do that if you just have it like mikesemails.com or michaelbryanemails.com or whatever you want to do. You can have the domain right there. So we're just going to save it like this as a free one for now. For the most part, if you're just doing basic social media stuff, the first like 2,000 subscribers, I don't really think it's really that big of a deal if you just use it like that, especially because you're linking to that anyway. And you could always embed that link if you really want to on some platforms. So then we have to add a page title right here. So let's add our title and say Michael Bryan weekly email. Forgot the apostrophe. And we're going to save that. And so again, the same layout that we saw with the emails is really not that different no matter what you're trying to build with MailChimp. It's going to be pretty similar. So we can just either finish it later or we can go up to the top and publish it. Otherwise, it's just a draft. And what they kind of said there is you're not really going to find this on Google, so you don't have to worry about it too much until you share the link. And then this is your link right here. So if we go and hit Control click, you'll see that we can open it in a new tab. And it does look I didn't change anything, but I think all this down here is unnecessary. I think really what we want to do is just keep it with this right at the top. A very simple website. People can type into these fields, and then it knows when it's a valid or invalid email, and you can subscribe then. And we can add more stuff later, and I'll show you that, how you can add that on a different form if you want to. For example, let's go to MailChimp right now. I accidentally closed out of that. I didn't mean to close out of that. And so let's go over here. And we can create, so we talked about emails, we talked about landing page. I'll touch on website in a minute. I'm not going to talk about ads. I'll talk about surveys in a minute, but sign up forms is the next thing I want to talk about because this is the other way to accumulate some subscribers. So if you have a WordPress website, this is what you want to be doing. You have 2 options here. You can have an embedded form or you can have a pop-up form. Of course, landing page is what we talked about a minute ago. But embedded and pop-up forms are going to be, so embedded form, let's just say we have a WordPress site, we want to use this. So we'll go and begin. And what you can do right away, this is a very boring one right here, but if this is exactly what you want and you want it to be like a widget on the side of your WordPress site, you could just copy and paste this right here. So let's copy it and go over to my WordPress site. So then if you go to appearance and you go to widgets, then you'll see right here essentially is what your sidebar is. And you can go to create a text one. So if we want to go, let's just make a new text one. So if we just want to say main sidebar text, add the widget, it'll pop up right there. If we go over to the text version, not the visual, this is where we can add the code. And again, just to be clear, I did not write this code. I had no idea what most of this means. And what I did is I just copy and paste it from there. And we can edit this, and I'll show you that in a second. But what you will be doing is copying, pasting it right there, saving it, and then it will show up on your website. So if we go to santrelmedia.com, full disclosure, guys, we're reconstructing the website right now, but it will look something like this. So I just put that in there just now, and you'll see it says subscribe, and you can put in your stuff on the side, on the sidebar right there, on wherever you want, anywhere you want this widget on your website. Very easy to do, and very convenient to have that on the side so people can sign up. I recommend having it a little bit more in depth and just like subscribe. You know, it's kind of dry. I don't know if people would really be doing that. But if we go back over here to MailChimp, you have some other options here. So you can show different fields if you want. You can only show required fields. You can change the title right there. You could exclude the title if you don't want it to say subscribe at the top. And admittedly, this editor is a little bit less user-friendly because we can also go into like condensed version, a horizontal view if we want that. But in the classic one, we can actually go and there's a form builder, which is a little bit better than this right here. But again, a little bit quirky at the same time for like where you get the code and then where you paste that then. But here we can go and design this. So if we want to get rid of birthday on the bottom, we can just click on that, click the little minus icon, or we could just make it hidden. So let's save that. We don't want that. It's going to be hidden for now. And then we can change, we can add like add a message to the top, add an image on there. If we go to like design it, you'll see that we can change the background color of this. We can go over and change the header, change a lot of stuff about this, translate it if we want to, just lots and lots of different options right there. But for the most part, I don't really think that I'm not really going to change this much. But if you did want to add some other fields, there is like you can add some checkboxes on the bottom to say like, yep, I verify that I read your terms of service. Or you can add some other things, like you can add like a little reCAPTCHA thing if you're worried about people being robots. You can easily add that on the bottom as well. But again, that's more advanced stuff for another day. You get the idea of how to change this and edit it and copy it over. So I'm not going to touch too much more on that in this video. So continuing down other things we can also go into website. And if you want to see, like I mentioned before, if you want to see a full tutorial on how to make a website here, I can show you that. But just, you know, a really brief overview here is maybe if you have like a YouTube channel and you want to have your landing page already, so you already bought a domain for that, then maybe you just want to make an entire website on MailChimp just to have some basic, like a couple pages, maybe an about me page, just keep things pretty simple. So we can go to pages right there, and on the right side we can add new pages, and we'll have like a little navigation bar on there as well. So if we want to say about us, we can have it right there. It'll be a page, and it'll be on the navigation. So home and about us show up on the top. And then when you're actually editing this entire thing, so if we go to style, you can also edit, like pretty much everything on here is going to be the same editing layout we had before, clicking and dragging most of these things over to the page to customize it. That's how you're going to be doing that. You can save it, you can preview it, you can publish it on the top. I'll give you a full overview of this in the future if you guys want, but for now, you just get the basic idea. This is something new MailChimp is really trying out. They're putting out the option to have a website that they're hosting, but that's pretty much all you really need to know for that. Now as we go down, really the only other thing over here I wanted to show you guys was survey. And survey is something new they're doing here. And again, I won't get too into this, but it's kind of a nice, powerful thing that you don't have to use like, SurveyMonkey? Now it's MailChimp does it. It's kind of ironic, I guess. But you can build a survey right here and you can send it out. And it is nice that you can collect some data like this as well if you're interested in doing that. So we can add some questions right here, and then you can just keep adding some different options. And so you can just do stuff like that. And you can answer with like little radio buttons, checkboxes, whatever we want to do. And then we can save that one. And then when we're ready, we can send out the survey however we want to. So we're not going to do that right now. We're going to go back to the home right here. And the other thing I wanted to show you guys, so we talked about campaigns. These are the emails that you sent out. So it'll show you the one that like we sent earlier. We sent we have this going out, the single welcome email. The automated ones are all showing up here. We have a landing page right here. It shows you these are all the campaigns we have. We have a survey, which is just a draft right now. If you're trying to manage stuff, if you're like, oh man, I made an email, I don't know where it is, it's definitely up here. If you go to campaigns, you can find everything sorted on the left side right there. Then really the last thing I want to talk about in this video is going to be the reports. So if you are looking to learn more about what we did, you can go to reports here and it'll show you like the open ratio, the click ratio, and you can view the report of that. This one is like, view the report of this little landing page, the website, and it shows you a lot more information than this. Right now, because we have no traffic, it's really hard to show you guys this, but here's the URL, like I was talking about before, MailChimp with a dot in the middle of it, and then random characters. I guess I said 5, but it's more like 12. and then we have / Mike's emails right there. So that is how you will be copying this. You can embed this wherever you want. And that's pretty much everything you need to know about using MailChimp right here. Some other details, if you're interested, are up here. If you go to connect, you can connect different sites. So if you're using Squarespace, you can easily connect that over here. Of course, you can do like Big Cartel, or you can go down to WooCommerce, you can go down to WordPress. Like, you can connect a lot of different things here, and just it integrates things a little bit more easily than if you had to copy and paste code over and stuff like that. So it is nice that you can do that right here. Of course, also going through here, you can go into profile right there, as I showed you before. We can also go into account, and this is where you'd have like extras right there if you want to see your API keys, if you need that for any other service. So if you go out there and you want to sign up for there's some different ways that maybe if you want to have like a little widget on your WordPress site, but you don't want the one that I showed you, you want something a little better, you may need your API key. So you can get that right there. So you need to go down here and create a key. And once you do that, you'll be able to have your key and just copy and paste it. So there's our key right there. We can copy that and paste it as we need to. And you get the idea then. So that's basically everything I wanted to show you in MailChimp right here. This is how you use it. This is how you create your email campaign. I hope that this helped you guys a lot. If it did, please remember to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions for anything I didn't cover in this video. But overall, guys, I think that should be pretty much everything you need to know when you are going through with MailChimp. So as always, guys, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.